Flight Boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You are now listening to the Mind of an Terrence Room. Flight Boss, the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Dolo, here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Because I'm the motherfucking Flight Boss. So check this motherfucking shit out. I'm finna explain to y'all who was first, the male or the female. Now, throughout this video, this is gonna get you to understand why the porn industry is so popular and should it be looked at as good or bad. And throughout this video, this is gonna get you to understand life and understand who was first, the male or the female, and why is this a dumb question? Because here's what you need to understand. Everything is as above, so below. So what's going on as below is happening literally above. Nothing is new under the sun. That's why we say that. So, for an example, anytime you create something, invent something, it's just you brought something from a higher dimension into the dimension you in, into the reality you in. So it took willpower, whether you had to use the tools in the dimension that you in, or this sheer willpower. But you got that idea from a higher dimension. When you look up, what is the vessels that live in a higher dimension? Stars. So since humanity live in this dimension, when you look up in a higher dimension, we call them stars. So this could be suns, planets, oversouls, whatever, galaxies. You see what I'm saying? Now, this is another thing you need to understand. Anything that got holly or holy in it is black hole worship. This is the sun's worshiping a greater sun. So that sun gets filtered to lower suns and planets and stars, and that gets filtered through lower planets and suns and stars, which is you. Smaller version of it. See what I'm saying? So just look at everything holy represents. Hollywood. Holidays. Hollywood. What does it do? It directs. It creates. Broadcasts, imaginations and fantasies. See what I'm saying? This is galaxy consciousness. Black hole consciousness. What do holidays do? It's worship to stuff like that. See what I'm saying? So now look, first of all, now we need to get you to understand what's male or female first before we get into why the porn industry is so popular. Because when you look at society, y'all got a fucked up way of thinking of things based upon your realm of reality and your illusions about it and what you think about it. Things has a large mass of energy and it's popular for a reason. And it's able to access that energy because it's accessing the energy from where the things is literally doing that shit is already doing it. You ain't gonna be able to do something that the realm you in won't allow you to do. For an example, if you in school, you're supposed to do everything you're supposed to do in school to pass. The moment you start resisting and doing shit opposite, you're going opposite to that nature. You're not going to pass. So it's like that. It's not that schooling is bad. Schooling is just a replica of how everything is happening. So society and everything is just replicas of how everything is happening. The society and the stars and everything. They just doing it literally. See what I'm saying? So look. Check this out. Your spirit, who you are, your conscious awareness, the idea of you, your frequency, is a shapeless, formless, tasteless, nonflammable, odorless gas. Now, since you in the totality of the overall spirit or overall idea, overall frequency, overall odorless, shapeless, non-flammable gas, the reason why that's all space. So everything is space within space. So if you got this space and you have this space over here and all the space in between, since it's all formless gas, you know this space over here is going to react to things differently than this space over here based upon relativity to all the spaces in between. So this is how you got your conscious. This is how you got your frequency. This is how you got your space within the space. Your formless, shapeless, formless, non-flammable, odorless gas. This is your piece of it. Now, based upon each location in space, this is how you get spirit groups, space groups. So as you're traveling through space. Now you have certain forms of space already formulated, aka suns. This is what we mean by going through the light. So when you go through the light, you're just going through a sun. Say like this space and these spirit and your own space within that spirit space. Y'all all traveling as one, right? And as your singular, odorless, shapeless, non-flammable gas is your spirit, your consciousness, right? It goes into a sun. Now, a sun already had done this before. So it's already a atom. It's already you see what I'm saying? So as the sun, boom. When y'all going through that light, y'all gets filtered out through that sun and gets spit out. Now, and look, you have to understand, planets and suns was able to create life themselves. You see what I'm saying? Planets have a harder time with doing this. So to become a source, they're supposed to already know how to do this so they can become a sun. Die and transform and become a sun. A sun is supposed to be already know how to do this. But before we get there, look, as a sun can create life itself. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to generate its own source. Same way you got male and female traits in you, the yin and yang traits in you, but you just do it on a smaller scale. So it look outside of you and within you. So you have to come together more broadly than up there literally. But the sun can do this itself. So it spits out seeds. So it's almost like the seeds appear as sunlight. So if the sun, some of the sunlight light spectrums, maybe when the sun was in its yin bag, in its female energy bag. Remember, these are just energies, negative, positive energies. It was in its negative energy bag. Then certain light phases was in the male energy phase. So as the light's getting sharded out, as a formless, shapeless, odorless gas, that's you as a spirit, when y'all go through the light, y'all start to take shape and form of that light. So you was already vibrating on a frequency. So some spirits in that space gas might have been vibrating more on the negative side of the sun. Some in the illusion was vibrating on the positive side of the sun. So when y'all come to into that realm of illusion and go into another organ or another planet once you got filtered through the sun, all the planets that rotate that sun, you start to inhabit all them shapes and forms, right? In those organs, planets, right? And then depending on your frequency vibration, you take the shape and form of that. So if you was vibrating more on the negative side of the sun seed, a star seed, this is why you call it star seed, then you may take the shape and form into that realm of reality of a female. If you was vibrating more on the positive energy of the sun when you got filtered through the light, then you go into the shape and form of maybe more like male. Now, here's what you need to understand. What happened when you got filtered to the sun? What happened was you really became an idea to a being. So you went through a being's head or eyes, because the sun is like the spirit of a brain, just like you. So it's almost like as that formless, shapeless, odorless, non-flammable gas, it was something that literally a totality of a being breathed in, or it just went in, or it became like an idea. And then once you was an idea within that being, you start to take shape and form of all the stuff that's in that being. And the more you know how to take over the workings of each piece of that being, aka you being that gas and being consciously aware of all the forms in that being, taking shapes and form of all becoming physical of all the different forms in that being, you become the totality of that being. And then when that being has sex, you could bust a nut and come out as a physical representation of that being you was just in. But see, listen, this is what you need to understand. As being this a formless piece of gas at first, the way the world look at to you as you just went into the light, then you just went into the sun, and then you just went into a earth, then you just went into a different type of planet. You taking all this, that's how it looked to you. You see what I'm saying? See, I was all this shit. Now, I just explained how the creation of male and female. Before it was male and female, it was energy first. It was just positive and negative. And as a sun, it already know how to generate this, and it spit it out as in seeds. So when you get planted here, but when y'all went through a light as a spirit group, or just you by yourself went through a light based upon your location in the space of the whole totality of the formless, spaceless, shapeless, odorless, non-flammable gas. That's the overall conscious. Your piece of it is relative to your location within it. You know what I'm saying? This is what you win. So, boom. Once y'all found the light, y'all went into the light. Then y'all went into the realm of reality of that conscious awareness. So all the planets and the things that's following that light is the rotation that y'all going into and taking form and shapes in those. And that's how it looked to y'all. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you get planted as a seed. You went in and got filtered out in that being. So say the being was this right here. Say the shapeless, formless gas is how you get an idea. That's the shapeless, formless gas. That was your spirit, your conscious. Boom. Say, look, I got it now. Boom. It went into my head, my sun, middle of my head. Boom. Now it went into me. Now me, a totality of me. I'm all the planets as one. I'm a solar system. You see what I'm saying? So right here is my sun. Right here is like what's traveling. Right here is like my moon. What's right here is like my Mercury. You know what I'm saying? What's right here is like my Earth. What's right here is like my Venus. You know what I'm saying? What's right here is like my Mars. So that conscious idea start taking shape and form in everything right now. So depending on what chakra I'm vibrating on, how conscious awareness that gas was, it's the totality of the take. Like right now, I always smoke weed, so it's a nigga who came from here now, always in me. You know what I'm saying? Or a chick. But depending on the idea in my mind, say I would say that day I was vibrating as I was vibrating on my emotions and feelings. I'm in my negative trait. Or say I'm just out acting and I'm out being positive and just doing actions and with ideas and thoughts and being logical. Then I'm in my positive bag. You know what I'm saying? So those totality of ideas, I got both of those within me. You as a conscious space who just went in me as a formless gas, I might have breathed you in. You became one of those ideas based upon how you was frequency vibrating wherever you came from. So you became one of them ideas. So now, boom, you became my heart at one time. Boom, you went through all the dimensions in me, right? But you don't know I'm me. To you, you just look at it how we on Earth right now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm me, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But you is me, but you don't know that yet because you in me. So now you physical, and you taking all these shapes and forms and shit now, right? So now, if I go have sex and have another child, right? Depending on who I was vibrating on the hardest, that's who took the totality of me. That's who gonna come out. So depending on, like, when you came into me as an idea, as when I go out into the greater sun and get all these ideas when I sit in the sun, you came from there. You see what I'm saying? As a shapeless, formless, odorless gas. Boom, you went into my idea. Boom. You in me now. Now, depending on my ideas and thoughts I have, and I resonate with the most, that's you taking over within me. But that's just me thinking I got a good ass idea. I'm running with it. Oh, I'm the flight boss now. You know what I'm saying? Flight boss is in me, though. You see what I'm saying? Y'all get it? Flight boss woke me up. I was asleep. I was dormant. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get it? I'm awoke now. I'm awakened. I'm enlightened. This is life. Looking at yourself. This is life. So now, totality of me. Boom, 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 boom. You doing all this now. I had sex. Boom. Now, a smaller version, you was a smaller version of me. So, same way how I made a video about how Beyonce wanted to, how Earth, Gaia right now, she want to look like Beyonce, and she want to look like, or whatever like that. This is how she want to look like now. And it's going to change on Earth because you're a smaller version, so it died faster here than they die up there. But, that's the same way you look at me. It's flight boss in me now, right? And the way whatever planet, organ that flight boss live in down there, he doing the same thing I'm doing right now, but it's like this is my representation in my world. Like I'm telling y'all, I want to look like flight boss. I want to look like, you know what I'm saying? I want to look like I'm flight boss. I'm the little pilot man. You know what I'm saying? So it's a being in me that's chosen that's the best representation of me down there, inside me, or whatever planet that live in me, a cell that would ever live in me. You know what I'm saying? And he's the totality of me. So his idea, he's channeling me the best way I want to be channeled. So he probably got the most gifts and pleasures in whatever planet he in. He probably the richest. There's probably niggas hating on him right now. Talking about who the fuck is this nigga think he is? He thinking it's like he the most popular nigga in whatever planet he in me. You see what I'm saying? Cause I'm a whole universe within him. You see what I'm saying? So he's the whole totality of me now. So if I was to go bust a nut, go have a child, the child gonna be a physical representation of that now. You know what I'm saying? My child gonna be physical representation of that. This is why when people who are already rich or whoever poor, your child inherits what you are. The child will be born rich or the child will be born poor. They inherit a piece. They physically. You get what I'm trying to say? Now it's part of my seeds. It do that same thing over again. So this is how you know who came in first, male or female. It wasn't neither one. It was the energies was first, positive and negative. And now once you start to get into these kind of discussions, you have to leave male and female alone. You see what I'm saying? Shit start making sense now. You see what I'm saying? But that's what this doing. You in a being now. You know what I'm saying? And it's living out now. So you have to pay attention. What's the totalities? Look at totalities. Fuck your way of looking at it, is it good or bad? What is the totality of the energy? Why do it even got that much energy in the first place? Why do it even got the power to control shit in the first place? To have that power and control over people and things. Why do it have that space and location in the first place? That's what you have to pay attention to. So now we can get into why porn so powerful. Now we have to get higher dimensional now. Now we have to leave 3D now, even though I was leaving it a little bit. Now look, I was one of these vessels. A sun and literally a literal sun and all that shit. So, and a planet. Listen, as a planet, like an oversoul has to die and become a planet. A planet has to die and become a sun. That's the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. Now, as planets have harder times than suns because for them to they're gonna keep coming back as planets. They're gonna keep dying, transforming, being turned back to space dust, the formless, spaceless, shapeless, nonflammable gas, and take a shape or form into the realm of reality. It's all the same shit again and again. This on larger scales and smaller scales. Now, as a planet, they're here to learn how to inherit both of their energies because they're doing the same thing you're just doing, just in a higher, more literal sense. So they have both organs, both sexual organs. So you have some planets that may take the more male side, and some planets that take more female side. So that's how they have relationships. But they're supposed to be here to consciously learn how to do that with themselves. You know what I'm saying? So you have them coming there thousands and thousands of times until they learn how to be. But the conscious awareness is different. You might look at it like, man, what would I do without sex? Whatever. See, sex, the higher the dimension, the more different it appear to be as conscious awareness. And I'm gonna explain that to y'all because I was these beings. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got a dick and a pussy as a fucking planet, but it's not. It's hermaphrodite like, but you can't look at it like down here. You know what I'm saying? And the planets that know how to be with themselves the most, they on their conscious path better than others. And in that world, that's how we look at it. Like, that motherfucker on their shit. They on their shit. But we all the same shit. We all male and female. We all got dicks and pussies. But some beings take more on the male side, and some take more on the female side. And then you have some gay ones that both male planets. They take more traits on their male side. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Got dyke planets. But that's how we see it. It's all relative. So it's normal. It's normal. You see what I'm saying? And it's not perceived the way y'all perceive it. It's more like we don't even really touch each other up there. It's more like, because the way how y'all see planets and stars down here, we don't really look like that. We may emit certain colors and lights, but that's based upon what spaces and locations, aka what frequency vibrations we have went through at the time and what have we accumulated from it. And it's really just look like spaces that vibrate in different colors and lights and shit. And you got some harmonious ones that when they come together, like, all right, let's get to the porn. Like once you go to a six-dimensional being, that's a sun. You're supposed to already know how to do this. already supposed to know how to create within yourself. The male and female, and make the, and put out the seeds. Just put out seeds in general, and whatever gas ride that light into a realm of reality, aka when you was a formless gas, then that when you rolled that body of light, that body of sperm or cum or whatever you want to call it, that vehicle, in order to inhabit and go and get planted into a planet, then that's the shape and form you're gonna take. And if your frequencies was vibrating more on the negative or the positive spectrum of that light, then that's the form of you're gonna take. And in some realm of realities, it appears to be male and female. You see what I'm saying? These motherfuckers ain't fucking with me. Now look, when you talk about now when we talk about the sons sometimes these motherfuckers needed help. Cause it's almost like a past thing. Like you ever like, for them to even be a son, they had to develop experience and be conscious awareness. They had to been a human. They had to been a sperm. They had to been a cell. They had to been a oversoul. They had to been a planet to become a son. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like other planets look down upon other stars, aka suns, look down upon other suns who sometimes need help with rising their kundalini, who need help with shining, who need help with emitting light. Because emitting light, that's what it is. And they supposed to know how to emit light themselves. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they need help and going into the lower cells at times. They need to look at other stars that's in their lower cells that say fuck it and go ahead and fuck. You know what I'm saying? And then when the other star watching another star that need to watch other stars do that's in their lower cells, they look at that, they look down upon that star. They like, nigga, you still need to do that shit. But it's common, it's normal. Because sometimes a star needs to watch a group of other stars or other stars harmoniously come together. It look like two spaces from different locations and different orbs and colors and shit coming together. And a little orb that they creating in the middle is beautiful and shit like that. And it's a harmonious space vibrations coming together. That's what sex look like to us. So, because it's all conscious to us, and conscious becoming more conscious and more bigger conscious, literal like. But as light emitting light. So sometimes a sun needs that in order to shine again and create other life. And sometimes other suns just say fuck it and lower themselves to start having sex with planets and start having sex with other shit because they can't get out of their lower nature and shit. Like it's to us when we were suns, that's how it looked in the sixth dimension. That's how it looked to us. Our conscious awareness. Oh, this nigga weak as hell. This nigga still need to watch other suns and other stars come together and shit, come to sex because this nigga don't know how to emit his own light still. This nigga still don't know how to bring himself together. He still don't know how to utilize his yin and yang. This nigga weak as fuck. That was our jokes. You know what I'm saying? That was our way of, you know what I'm saying? Look at that shit. Because the nigga need to do that and shit. And that way, that was niggas' ways. That was a way that niggas came up with to be able to remind themselves how to emit light again themselves without actually bringing themselves down into their lower nature to actually come to a lower form to actually have to do that. You know what I'm saying? But you got millions of different stars that make money and do this shit off doing that. Like, fuck that nigga, I'm a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? I still need to create this way. You know what I'm saying? And then you got other stars who need help admitting their own self. So they got to watch these stars do that and be like, oh, okay, I can let me light to myself. So they're a little bit more out of their lower selves than the ones that actually bring themselves down their lower nature. But these sons who they need help to do that themselves, they still looked at as lower too. Like, oh, nigga, you whack as fuck. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to do that in your own space. Why you got to go in other locations of space with other stars and suns and their lower vibrations coming together just so you can remind yourself how you can emit light yourself again. You know what I'm saying? So when we because you know, as sons, we made that up. We made up going to look at other stars that's in their lower nature in order for us to not have to bring ourselves down on our lower nature ourselves. We can just watch them and create. You know what I'm saying? But the harder stars is the niggas who already don't. They don't need to do that shit at all. They like, nigga, I don't need to watch that shit. I don't need to watch other stars do that shit. I don't remember that because it's almost like this. Say you like a gangster, or you know what I'm saying, or a nigga. So you just a hustling ass nigga, but you have to change your life because you don't hustle no more or whatever like that. So it still entices you and make you feel a certain way when you watch old school gangster movies. Or when you watching niggas doing shit that you did, it make you feel like that. It make you like, cause you get to relive it without having to bring yourself lower down into that nature. So it's like that. You know what I'm saying? You need an external reference to feel good at the moment to remind yourself. You know what I'm saying? Remind yourself of the past or remind yourself how shit is. But you know better now because you're risen in consciousness and wisdom. You changed your life. So that's how it is like that in stars amongst us when we were stars and star with brains as conscious beings and shit. You know what I'm saying? We're just looking at this shit like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So when you look at porn down here, that's just a smaller representation of that. So the reason why porn is so popular down here is because porn is popular up there, motherfucker. That's why. But y'all concept of it is different. You know what I'm saying? It's just beings down here, since our whole solar system as a being is in a higher space right now and it's going into age Aquarius and shit like that, the conscious awareness is different. So people are planning out more traits down here, the as above, so below. People are remembering more. You know what I'm saying? They're remembering more down here. So it's more like people are carrying out the duties and traits. Look at Bruce Jenner. And they're doing shit in this dimension ahead of time before actually being in a dimension where that conscious awareness is accepted but seen in that world the way it's supposed to be seen. You know what I'm saying? It's not seen in the third dimensional aspect of the same world like that. You still have to play out the third dimension concept, and that's what a lot of beings now is doing. They're just going too far. You know what I'm saying? They're just going too far with it. But this is why the porn industry is so popular and things of that nature, because this was what the sons came up with. The weak ass sons, the dim sons who don't know how to become their own source, who be forgetting. So they have to remember what they was doing in the past in order to bring themselves the yin and yang, the female and male together with inside them again, so they can shine and spit out seeds. AKA is just shining. You know what I'm saying? And the way we look at shining up there is just absorbing souls, like absorbing imagination, creativity, creating shit, imagination, and ideas and thoughts and putting them into action and things of that nature. So that takes a vibration that's going to be the yin, the female, negative, and it takes an idea, a thought, an action. That's the positive. That's the male. So see, male and female, negative, positive is seen different to us in that conscious awareness. That's why it's hard for me to even explain this shit in words to y'all in 3D. You probably gonna get a lot of people saying I'm on some bullshit. Nah, I'm on actual life. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just tried to put it in 3D terms. I even used my body to put it in 3D terms the best way possible. Because you gotta become each thing first. But the totality of it is a being. So like I said, through my mind it will be the sun. I caught an idea. That idea has to become everything in me. How you know it became everything in me? Because that's the totality I'm expressing myself in. So this is why it's important for everybody to genuinely be themselves. Because they genuinely pick the idea that went in them that best resonate with them. That wasn't you in the first place. That just woke this vessel up. So this is what I be talking about. What you want to start to add on to your spirit, your formless gas. Start to add the elements that you want on there. So you can start taking the bodies that you want to take a body in. You ain't got to come back as no human. You can come back as something greater. People get stuck in certain vessels and don't and become certain things and don't never want to leave those certain things. This is why we got like cigarettes and nicotine and stuff like that. That's how it play out. Certain gases that go in you don't never want to leave. That's like a being that's in you that never want to elevate. So once you die, it's gonna go into a frequency vibration that it resonate with. It's gonna go into someone else's heart, or someone else's lung, or someone else's stomach, or someone else's spleen. AKA, it's gonna go into a same type of planet, a same type of earth, a same type of vessel, a same type of human. It's the same shit. Flight boss, bitch, goddamn air. I don't. I get mad. That's my happiness, nigga. Flight boss, nigga, air, damn.